One of the greatest miracles we'll be recounting today on the occasion of the feast of St. George. St. George is known to have made many miracles occur, and he's a saint who is quick to intercede. But before starting, let us all ask him to intercede on our behalf and help us in these dark times of the persecution of the true Church of Christ. The Church of Christ now is in the catacombs, not in the state churches that have betrayed God, like Judas, and have communed with the beast since the rollout of the mark of the beast through this vaccine, and the many that will follow. We shouldn't be approaching, any church because they're all contaminated and they have adulterated the dogmas. Now we'll be recounting the miracle. During the early days of Christian persecution in Mytilene, regional pagan authorities got word of this event and they surrendered the Church of St. George during the saint's feast day. They attacked the worshippers and bound them and took them away to Crete, and among the ones to be taken away was a young man who was eventually given as a gift to the ruler of the land. And this young man served his master for a year, and thus arriving at the feast day of St. George 1 year later. The young man's parents never lost faith of finding the son, nor did they discard the tradition of honoring and feasting. They put the faith in God and in St. George, and returning from church, his mother fell on her knees, crying and praying for the return of her son. St. George didn't overlook that woman's fervent prayers, and while seeing her husband, the boy's father, and a few others were sitting and eating, God allowed a great miracle to occur. While their son had poured wine into a cup and was about to hand it over to his master, the boy found himself in Mytilene, handing the same glass of wine to his mom. Upon seeing this, all asked him where he's coming from and how can he be in their midst, to which he answered, "I've come from pouring this glass of wine to give to my master in Crete. I was taken up on a horse by a valiant man, holding on to the glass with one hand, and his was it with the other. I found myself here in our midst." Hearing and seeing these things, everyone was awed, praising God and his great martyr saint, St. George.